it's Christine here with the Coliving Code, and in person I have Charlie MacGregor. He is the CEO and founder of the Student Hotel. We're here in Amsterdam, and we are actually at their city location. I'm personally staying at your Amsterdam West location. For a few months. I love it. Yeah. I love it. And Charlie doesn't know this yet, but just the other night I came home late from work. I walk into this lobby. I mean, and the place is beautiful. And I saw this guy had to be in his 70s, at least, I'm not kidding, playing ping pong with like a 20-year-old. It was like, I think the smile, like you could just see me smile. Because it's like to walk in, because everybody says, Christine, why are you staying at the student hotel? Like, why would you want to? And I go, it's not all students. And you have to realize, I'm sure you'll talk about it, that everybody, students don't want to be around all students. And adults love that energy, it's super diverse, all nationalities. I love being there. Yeah, so thanks for being here. Yeah. I'd love to hear your story and do you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah. Well, the beginning, there's various beginnings, I think, for us in the student hotel. But to be honest, one of my biggest inspirations was meeting a lady who was 65 years old, like 10 years ago. And she stayed also in our hotel rooms. And I said to her very politely, I said, what are you doing, man? Why are you staying in the student hotel? She said, well, I always stay in the student hotels. You have 3 student hotels, and they're my favorite hotels in Holland. You take my age away. And I was like, wow, this is like a marketing campaign dream come true. And what we did is we started to sit in our lobbies ourselves, and we started to realize that indeed, because we don't just have one fixed demographic, we have young professionals and entrepreneurs and various people of different ages staying in our co-living rooms, and we have hotel people. You have a diverse community. And what we did is we gave that community energy, the atmosphere, and name the student spirit. So that's the part that links the 80-year-old hotel guest and the 18-year-old student. Because it's a mental. So for me, that was one of our biggest starting moments where we fully embraced the diversity of the community.
That is so cool. And you started in 2006, was it?
Yeah, technically I opened my first building in 2008, but I started working on this project in 2003 when I first moved to Amsterdam, so 16 years ago. And it really took off after the crisis. We had 3 buildings open during the crisis. But then the banks started to come online. We had a big pipeline, and now we've got 25 locations secured. 12 of them are open. The other ones are coming out of the ground. So we're building fast in many different countries at the moment.
Yeah, no, I see that. And let's talk about that. So you guys have about 10,000 rooms currently under management in Europe, and then you guys are looking to expand dramatically. I think I saw $1.3 billion. You guys are committed to international expansion.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that. So it's 1.8 billion of euros.
To be exact.
Yeah,
to be exact.
But we're charging our way through it. I think what we feel is that there's huge potential, and our growth strategy is to consolidate in Europe. We want to make sure that we've got a very stable foundation of the company before we go to the US. But yeah, I'd love to go to the US, of course. I'd love to go to Asia. I'm convinced that our customers are keen to do it. There's a market for it. Universities, cities, everyone seems to want it. So we'll come there one day.
Yes, that was the first, when we sat down before we even started rolling, I was like, Charlie, please tell me you're coming to the US. I'm like, are we allowed to say that if you are? And
I find the US quite interesting because especially a lot of the universities, or the more advanced universities, call it as, hey, we'd love you to come and do something in our city. But when you go to the US and you speak to the investors, like, students, man, they only want to live on campus. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole load of co-livers, students, hotel guests who want to experience this downtown, in downtown locations. So that's going to be our secret strategy. So don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody.
Locations, yeah.
I won't tell anybody, I promise. So let's talk about, I know that you're really keen and fond of WeWork and WeLive and what they've done, and I've mentioned them a million times on the show because I am too. So what are some things, did they come out, you've talked to them, right?
Yeah, I've been in touch with them for a few years because, they're WeWork, it's super inspiring, a group of guys and girls. So I was really interested in their ambition for WeLive, and what I see with WeLive, they're I'd love to say they're copying us, but they're using some ideas that we've found to be very successful. So, using their WeLive product as hotel rooms in Wall Street as well. That's what they're doing because it works really well. Students into the community, we know that adds value. what I'm really interested is they're also bringing sports into their environment. They've launched their first own F&B as well, food and beverage. So they're seeing the benefits that we see of having that all under one roof as well, where you can really service your community and make sure you've got a real mixed use development under one roof. So I kind of feel, to be honest, every time I see them, I'm in awe of what they've done, of course, with their co-working. I think what we're doing with co-living and that whole mixed use thing, I think we're sneakily a little bit ahead of them. Can I even say that?
You can't.
We're ahead of WeWork.
No, in Europe, I think. Oh, for sure, without a doubt, you could be the.
But in the co-living, in the living area.
For sure. Yeah, because I think they focus solely on that co-working and making it really great.
Yeah, exactly. And as you've seen in our properties, we added the co-working as the last element. So
Yes,
that's the
collab,
easy,
right?
Yeah, that's
The
the
collab.
easy part to add, the desk and stuff. And we did the whole building first, so that's the hard part. So for us, we've come at the whole community completely the other way around, with co-working as the last add-on.
Perfect. And then let's dive into that. Okay, so I know there's a big, everybody wants to define co-living. We were talking about that for a second before we started. Like, you've talked to different people from different aspects of this co-living, and you've asked, Zoku and all those founders, like, how do you define co-living?
Yeah.
Like, how would you personally define it?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and nobody has an answer for it. For me, it shouldn't have a defined answer, because per definition, it's kind of, for me, it's a way of life. It's a lifestyle for a certain community up to a certain age. We're even talking about should we call our student rooms, because all of our rooms could be co-living rooms, and then we just allocate our co-living rooms to students. So, but co-living, I guess, is for me more aimed at the demographic of students or workers, young professionals, connecting, and we're looking to benefit from sort of a very strong community and all the facilities under one roof, and just have fun meeting people and discovering their purpose or furthering their purpose in life together with other people. So whether that's a one-bedroom studio or a four-bedroom apartment, I mean, that's kind of just a choice. It's just a preference, It's not a. So for me, it's more of a philosophy than a product type.
No, and I love that. And again, because I think some people are too strict on how they're defining co-living. It's everybody under one roof, And so I think there's so many versions of it, and I think as long as there's community,
I think community is for sure the key, and that's what I like here. We have a very strong student community, we have a very strong co-living young professional community, and the hotel customers, they're the one part of our business is you can't expect a traveler for 2 days to be part of a community, but they can join a community, and they can add to a community, and they can sometimes put that little bit of twist into a community that makes that community really sparkle. So I think that's what I get excited about here. We've got lots of different sort of standalone communities, and when they come together, we call it the complete connected community. So
No, I love you guys have those amazing books in each room, right? That tells the story, the student hotel book, and it's just cheeky, like all the things you guys do here. It's fun. It just puts this really fun vibe into how you can live.
Yeah.
Like again, especially moving here and not knowing anybody, it's like, where am I going to stay? And yeah, it's a fun. You guys have events. Talk about some of the events.
Sure.
Some of your favorite events. You guys have TED Talks at this one, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of events. To be honest, we're the home of the Forbes 30 under 30 European community. So every year we host the main summit for those guys and girls, and they're just incredible. And what we like about them is, of course, our students are the next 30 under 30 community. Our co-livers are the 30 under 30 community. So it works really well. I mean, we do also for Amsterdam Dance Event. It's a nice one. It's when Amsterdam turns into just a big party scene for the dance industry. We do a hotel takeover. So where we're sitting now is where they broadcast their radio for a whole week. And you have all the big DJs coming in and guests and stuff, and they come in and do their thing. And then in our theatre at the back, auditorium, they hold it's like a rave in there. So they exhibit their latest records, and then all the record producers and labels come in and they buy it and stuff like that.
Wait, when is that?
Yeah, it's in October.
Oh, I gotta come back.
If you want to party, come to ADE in Amsterdam Dance Event. It's
AD
insane.
in October. I'm back.
Insane.
That's awesome. Okay. And how many people does your auditorium host?
Just over 200 can sit down there. And it can hold about 500 when they're partying.
Okay. When they're standing, they're not sitting. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about, I had notes here because I just know you have so much knowledge about the different generations. And I love that you just, the three, so talk a little bit about, maybe obviously starting with the millennials, which everybody talks about, but you've even gone deep into the other two following generations coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always, everybody talks about millennials, biggest generation, et cetera, et cetera. And it kind of struck me that to just focus on them is a little bit short-sighted. I also got, everyone said, millennials and their spending power, and it kind of always frustrated me as well, because spending power issues, that's all you want from this generation. Millennials are the biggest disruption generation in our history, for all the right reasons, and they're coming into positions of power. So the decisions they can make within their own organization is going to make a big difference. And when you look at Generation Alpha, the kids of 10, 11, they're the kids of the millennials. So I mean, those guys and girls are going to be complete rock stars. I mean, they're going to, their brain is just the thinking in a totally different way, because they've grown up in a totally different way. So I'm really interested in that. And we as real estate developers and operators, we're sourcing buildings today for Generation Alpha. So the buildings that we're going to be opening in 5-6 years, Generation Alpha will be coming in as students.
Oh, you're right, because that's 2010. Yes. Generation Alpha is 2010 and up.
So it's not far away.
Yeah.
These guys are coming in as young students, because we get a lot of our community come in straight from home to come and spend the first year away from home. You're telling me that.
Yeah.
You meet the best friends for the rest of your life and all that sort of stuff. So we're thinking really, what are Generation Alpha doing? What are the Zs and Ys? But yeah, they're a cool kids. We like them.
Yeah.
And what's nice about all these generations is they don't mind hanging out with the 80-year-olds. They're open for it. They're open for a game of ping pong with the 80-year-olds.
I wish I took a picture. I wanted to take a picture so bad. I'm like, this is going to look weird. I can't. Yeah. But it was just like, it's really rad. Yeah. Like, I get to see that. Or just see people, I'll be downstairs working on my laptop and see, just people strike up conversation with each other just out of the blue. And different generations, different nationalities, different languages, and just, yeah.
But it's funny because I started my business and my working life in student accommodation, just pure student accommodation. And what I now realize is that demographic, that space where you have one building dedicated to one demographic. So, you and I doing this interview in the student dorm, everybody would go quiet. Who are the old people, Really, they're like, whoa. And that is not normal. So that's no wonder that they destroy the place. No wonder they don't treat the furniture with respect, because that's not a normal demographic. The reason why we like working in Starbucks or in public places, because there's a mixture of old and young and sexes and races and all that stuff. And that's what makes us feel normal. So what we've created here is indeed a much more normal demographic. My advice for co-livers or co-living companies is make sure your demographic is diverse of your community, because if you don't have a different diverse community, it's not real. It's not what we find in the real life. So for me, the community has to be based on a real life experience of different ages, different backgrounds, all doing their things together.
Should there be, because you're right, people are creating silos. So that's another argument people are having. Like there's such specific co-living concepts being created that it actually creates a silo, and they're not learning from external sources because everybody's the same. Yeah. So, is there a common? I like to say there's at least one common thread going throughout. Yeah. Do you see that at all, or is it super diverse?
Yeah, I mean, you hear. I mean, you have, especially in co-working, you have a very tech-based co-working, which I totally get on that industry and stuff like that. But generally, you find it's the most successful co-working is where there's different. There's not such a focus on one industry, because you're learning from your fellow co-workers. I think for us, the common thread in our community is the student spirit. So for us, the student spirit is part of you that's open, it's curious, it's unfinished, it's wanting to learn. So it's a mentality, it's a philosophy, and that's the only thing that connects our entire community.
No, and I love that. Yeah, so it's the openness and the willingness to learn, the student in all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. And so, let me see. I definitely wanted to touch on your nonprofit, your NGO that you have, Movement on the Ground.
Movement on the Ground.
So I didn't even know about that until recently. So tell everybody about that.
Yeah.
You started that a couple of years ago?
I started it in 2014 when the refugee crisis was really at its peak in Europe. Really because I see such a diverse community here, we have 60, 70 nationalities, coming from here. So I was like, hey man, a couple of Syrians coming in, I mean, that's no problem. We've got classrooms, we can teach them language classes. So I was on the phone to the government saying, hey man, I've got some rooms and I want to help you out. And they were like, it's such a complex issue, Charlie, we can't help you. It's not even on our agenda. So I was like, what do you mean it's not on your agenda? This is crazy. I've got rooms, I can help. And so eventually I was motivated by a couple of friends who'd just gone to Lesbos, one of the Greek islands where there was hundreds of thousands of people around. And I realized that I can also go and help. So I just went and helped. We started volunteering and helping the refugees, get them on boats, give them dry clothes, give them some food. We set up a refugee camp there. There was none on that part of the island, helping them move and transit through the island, and also working with the local community to make tourism in the island dropped by 80%. So they were devastated. So there was a lot of disasters going on at the same time for different Greek groups. And slowly we started an NGO, and now we're busy with a number of projects. We've just announced that we're going to our second island in Greece to set up a camp there, or help set up the guys that are doing the camp. But yeah, it's really inspiring. The stories are heartbreaking. The mentality and the willfulness of these dispersed people is just amazing. So it's really good. So if you want to help, then you can. www.movementontheground.org.
Yes.
Volunteering, donations, of course, please.
Yes. That's my next question. How can we help? Because I know there's a lot of people listening to this and watching this that want to help, and you're giving that vehicle. And what's great about Charlie is it's not like, you don't really preach that much about like, the give back, like you just do that. You could tell you're doing it from your heart and you genuinely care. And isn't your guys' mission, it's like 10%, right, of your guys' resources and your, that you guys give back, like find a way to give back. And then didn't you guys start, there's a let me see, I put in a beautiful mess.
Yeah.
So that's another project, or is that like a spin-off?
We didn't start it, but we hosted them here.
Okay.
So they were looking for space, and we said, hey man, just take some space, we got some space. So we kind of kick-started their business model. And that's, I guess, something we believe is our role. I mean, we're property developers, we're property owners, we're operators, we're neighbors, so trying to play that role. And if somebody wants something, and we have it, and we try to give it to them. So it's, again, for me, it's a new generational way of thinking. It's a no-brainer. It's not something you need to jump up and shout about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we see that we feel can be done better. So that's why we're a little bit disrupting, because we see older systems, whether it be monitoring or sustainability or whatever, that we think this can be done much better. And let's do it in our way and show the world that it can be done.
Yeah. And they have a beautiful impact report, I must say. I read through it. Very long.
We're getting it. We've got a long way to go. I mean, our ambition is really high. And we're just getting started. So we're doing really good things. We've got a great team upstairs who are super motivated. The DNA of TSH is for sure motivated on changing the world for the better. But yeah, we're just getting started.
Oh wow! Really? That's because you got 10,000. You guys are going to get up to 17,000.
I hope so. Yeah, and that's just a start.
And that's just in Europe.
Yeah.
And you said there's capacity of what?
There's capacity of 50, 60,000 in Europe for TSH for this type of product. So we're aiming pretty high, and we're doing it in a nice, sensible way. We've got some great investors behind us and a great team. And as long as we're enjoying ourselves and our customers are enjoying themselves, then we'll be doing our thing.
I love it. That's awesome. So let's see. So I always like to ask, I always like to end on, where do you see the future of co-living? If you were to look 10, 20 years out, how do you see this movement going in the future?
For me, I think there's going to be much wider acceptance of very large mixed-use schemes. So, bringing different communities in there, bringing different services, whether it be gym, co-working, laundry, credit, whatever, but all under one roof. So, a shop-in-shop of the residential living. And that's where I think that we're pretty well placed for the students, the co-workers, the hotel, the neighbours, of course, co-working, the gyms and SMBs. So I think those bigger projects, the real thought is going into how it's going to be run in 25 to 30 years.
And then do you guys purchase all your buildings, or all of them?
All of it.
Ooh.
That's why we're pretty slow in our growth.
Okay, that's the
That's
smarter
the way
thing
it
to do.
works, yeah.
And then so again, coming out of jumping from Europe to another continent, like what year do you guys forecast that?
Yeah, I hope in the next couple of years. I mean, I do it as quickly as we can. We need to find just the right location. We need to find the right building. We've looked at a few places before. The possibility is there for us. It just needs to be the right opportunity. And in some places, we need to partner up, depending on what region it is. But we're not we're not looking for growth just for growth. We're looking for growth because it makes sense, because it's fun to do, and it's the right thing to do.
Because you guys are in how many buildings total? How many cities?
20 cities at the moment, and 25 locations, 25 buildings.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a favorite? Are you allowed to say?
Wow, they changed.
Well, corporate is here,
Changed,
right?
Yeah. I mean, this is one of our flagship. I really like Maastricht. Is just an amazing building. There's the energy of the whole historic building. Florence, of course, is just uber cool, looking over the Duomo. We're building Vienna, which opens next year. It's huge. And Berlin is September. That's Alexanderstraße in Mitte, amazing location. So they change.
Okay.
They really change. Depends what party is going on.
I know, right? It depends. That's how you plan your
exactly,
your social calendars based on what's going on in what city. That's really cool. And again, and thank you again for doing this interview, because not so many people think it's for student, even because it's the student hotel, right? And they think it's for students, and it's not. So just like helping get the word out that is so not the case. It's all ages. It's so much fun. It's an incredible place to stay. The staff's amazing. So yeah, it's been a fun couple months living there for sure.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're here.
But yeah, next time I come back, I think I'll try this one out. This one's really cool.
This one's nice,
So-
Come back to Italy. You'll like.
Oh, Italy, yeah. You don't have to talk me into going to Italy.
And maybe you should come to the opening of Berlin in December. We've got a huge opening party.
In December? Perfect.
It opens in October. Then we're going to have the opening party just on the back of the Forbes event. It's going to be a big opening.
Oh, good. I'll put it on my
Come to that.
calendar. Yeah, I should be able to come back for then, for
Nice.
sure. Is there anything else you want to end with or talk about? Or, obviously we'll have the links to the NGO and to the student hotel.
fantastic.
Yeah.
No, it's been really nice. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, and I know you're so busy traveling the world. So again, Charlie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And so there you guys have it. In life, it wasn't through video this time; it was in person. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you want to learn more about co-living, you could check out my book on Amazon, The Co-Living Code. And of course, if you're looking for the perfect software to power your co-living concept, check out kindred.io, KNDRD.io. Thanks.